Are you possibly holding yourself back from living the life of your dreams? Sit with that for a second. Grab a sip of a drink. Is it possible that you are holding yourself back from living the life of your dreams? The reason why I ask that is because we could be so stuck in a situation where maybe your job, you're not happy with your job, maybe you're not happy with your health, maybe you're not happy with your relationship or your relationship with your family or your income. Like, there is, Tony Robbins, like 7 pillars of mastery, which I'll put a little graphic right here. But with that, it's like, well, what are you complaining about? And in that constant cycle every day, I don't like my job. I want to leave my job. Like, that's the biggest one I hear people say all the time. Okay, great. Now that you know the situation that you're in that you don't like, nobody's forcing you to stay at that job. Nobody's forcing you to stay at the weight you are. Nobody's forcing you to stay at the income that you are. You, at the end of the day, live in your life and you control your life. That's it. It's a little harsh, but let's take a moment and step back for a second. If we're talking about jobs, okay, you don't like your job? Okay, great. Well, what do you want to do? Is there somebody out there that's hiring? Have you looked? Okay, great. Is it what you want to make? And if it's not what you want to make, is it near where you can make? The first thing you need to do is take a leap. The first thing you need to do is take a step forward in that situation. And so if you're just barely browsing, but you're still complaining about your job, or you're still complaining about how much money you make, or you're still complaining about your body, what is the first action step that you need to take to then get to the next step? Step 1, step 2, step 3. That's the same thing with weight loss. I'm a health coach. I talk about it all over on my page, but it's so easy to see other people be like, I post like, I've lost 60 pounds in 7 months. Yes, true. But also then it becomes, well, what's sustainable? Losing 5 pounds a month? That's sustainable. Losing 10, 15 pounds? Not really. I mean, it's doable, but for sustainable fat loss, it's more like a pound and a half a week. Then you see people, I went 0 to 6 figures in a year. Great. But what was sustainable? So we forget, especially with social media, it's like we forget, like, there's steps that need to be taken to get to where you want to go. But if you're sitting in your job that you hate so much, or you are not at your goal weight, I'm not saying that you're going to go from 200 pounds to 150 in 2-3 months. But what you could do is go from 200 pounds to 285 in 3 months. That's reasonable. But you can't go to the next step. You can't get from 200 to 150 unless you take the first step of getting from 200 to 199. And then 199 to 198. And you keep going down. And then you can't get a new job unless you go out and apply. Unless you fix your resume. Unless you do X, Y, and Z. You know what I mean? I think it's so easy to just kind of get stuck in this victim mode. And I've heard it recently, which is so funny because I talked about Tony in the beginning, but I love Andy Frisella. I'm just one of those people that I love listening to, like, go getter, get your shiz done, like, let's go. But I also like listening to bosses, and I don't know, that's just what I like to listen to. But Andy Frisella had made a point, which is funny because I've spent a lot of my teenage years going to Tony events and being around Tony Robbins stuff. Like, the last, I guess it's been 10 years at this point, which is so crazy. But Andy Frisella made a point. Tony says comparison is a thief of joy. True. But unless you're comparing, that's going to motivate you. And then he was like, you have to think about Tony's audience. Tony's audience is a bunch of victims. Are you being a victim right now? He's selling to victims. He's selling to people that are like, my life is so hard, my life is so bad. But is it? Do you have a roof over your head? Are you able to feed yourself? Were you able to get Chick-fil-A or Burger King the other day? I'm sorry, but fast food is not cheap. I don't care what anybody says. Making food at home is pretty much the same time-wise, and you can get more food. I don't believe that fast food costs way too much. So if you're able to go get fast food multiple times a week, you have plenty of money. Think about that? Didn't think about that, did you? And if you did, great. Let me know down below. So it's just like one of those things that you could be holding yourself back and you don't know. I have gone in the phase multiple times in my life where I will absorb so much information at once. I would listen to all the courses, all these people, all the different, like, I need to do this and I need to do that. But it's like, you know what to do. What is holding you back? At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. You know what you need to do. You know what's holding you back. You know where you need to go to get from A to Z, but why aren't you doing it? There is something in your belief system, how you show up every day, is the reason that you are not where you are or not taking the steps to get there. Sorry, but this video is like so real. It's like there's something that's holding you back, and you really have to figure out why. What is that thing? You can't blame not a single person on the way you are living right now in this moment. Because at the end of the day, I'm sure you're an adult. I'm sure you're over 18. My audience is my age to like 30 something. So I know you're an adult. But what are you doing? And why aren't you doing it? And one of the biggest things right now is like the excuses. I've heard so many people make so many excuses, and I'm like, okay, well, I get up at 2:30, feed him, pump, have some caffeine, eat a little something, go walk 2,000 steps on the treadmill, have a full-time job, have my full-time business, still get my steps in, still work out, still post multiple times a day, still has a healthy relationship, still cleans a house. Like, we all have the same 24 hours, but it's about what you prioritize. So when you are complaining about your situation, stop putting the excuses on other people. If you don't like your job, if you don't like what you're getting paid, go find a different job. Go find somewhere that will pay you more. Go develop skills so you will get paid more. Show up. That's the other thing on top of that is when you're probably holding yourself back, but it's like, how much are you showing up? What effort do you need to do? How do you need to identify and actually take action and have a belief behind of who you want to be? If you are the person who wants to go from 200 pounds to 150, how would that person act? How would they eat? Would they be in the drive-thru every day? Probably not. Would they be walking every day? Probably. Bare minimum. Would they be eating cleaner foods? Probably. Would you be tracking your macros? Probably. If you were actually wanting to get out of your job and be out of your job in a couple months, what would the person be doing to get to that position? Looking for jobs, fixing up your resume, networking. But are you doing that? I don't know. Just questions to ask yourself. But I'll leave you off on that one. That's just, I think so many people in this world are just victims and have such a victim mindset of your life and why me, but you have to remember the reason you're in the position you are in is because of the decisions you made. And when you take that into account, you can change your whole life. You could change your whole life in a day. So my action step for you is whatever is most important to you right now that you want to change in your life in the next 90 days, pick one thing, pick a new belief pattern, and show up how that person would show up. Every morning, my first thing when I'm creating my to-do list of what I do in a day, I literally am like, how would this person show up? And then I just help create my to-do list off of that. Take action. And then you just keep pivoting until you get to your destination. That is all for me. Leave a comment down below your thoughts, subscribe, join my email list, and I'll see you soon.